Good morning or good afternoon to wherever you are watching this. This is Justice coming in hot with Pygame programming. I just started doing Pygame in my beginner Python class and decided along to any individual instruction and thought that I would go over our most recent assignment live while I work through some of the issues and help you guys understand some of the concepts in setting up things for Pygame. At the end of the video, if you guys have any suggestions, comments, improvements, things that will help me or help other people watching the video improve in their ability to make the things that they want to make, feel free to comment them. Alright, so we're going to jump right into it. By the way, I am using PyCharm. I like it. It's nice. I have Pygame also in the virtual environment for it, so that's going to be another video if you guys are interested in how to set that up, set up Pygame and set up any of your libraries and things like that. I can do that in a different video as well. Anyway, so we're going to get started. One, it says to give students practice drawing with Pygame. Part A, 4squares.py. Write a program that draws 4 filled-in squares or circles to the screen that are tangent to each other, inscribed in a square. So we've got 5 things here. Or really, we've got 8 things here. Because I don't think, we're going to find out though, if interesting. I'm gonna find out. Okay. So we can do rectangle, it looks like. Which is nice. Here we go. And those are going to be the sides. Alright, great. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to import Pygame. Great. Now we have a couple of things that we need to do when we're setting up Pygame. We have to set up a window. And let's see. So actually this is good convention. Yeah, let's do this in the other one. .locals import all. Okay, so we start our main function and we're going to call it, what does he have? 4 squares. Okay. Okay. And we have to initialize our Pygame. And then we have to create our display. And in our class, he has us call it display surface. So we'll just stick with that convention, but this is just general. So let's see here. Oh. Display.set mode, and this is where we're gonna set our bounds, our window bounds. So looks like he just has a square window, so we're just gonna set it 500 by 500. And if you notice, actually, here, let's do this. Before we complete it, PyCharm does a nice thing where when we use commands or reserved keywords, I guess that's what these would be. It shows us what the different parameters are that are going to come up. So we've got size, flags, depth, and display. So let's see here. So we got size. And we are going to make it great. Now the key thing to do here is note that we have to do double parentheses here, because if you do not, it is going to do this as your size and this as your flags. You see what I'm saying? So we could, it's essentially doing like this, but since we don't have any other ones, we have to specify by putting double parentheses that this is simply the first parameter, which is size. Great. All right. Why is this giving me problems? What's it saying? Okay. That's just because local issue. All right, so now we're going to use, and what are the colors he uses? Does it matter? No, but we'll do green. And if we remember from RGB, we have, what's the pygame.color? Is that how it works? It is, and they're grayed out like this when they're not used. So until we put them into place, like this one now is used because we initialize Pygame and we use this command and we're doing this here. And then the light up, but you'll see this light up later when we actually use it to color our circles and our square. Anyway, so Pygame color, one way that I remember this is since it's RGB, the R has the 255 in the first parameter, the G has the 255 in the second parameter, and the B has the 255 in the third parameter, and then black, all three are 255, and then white, none of them are 255. Wait. Just kidding. The last two are the other way around. White is all 255, it actually says it right there, and black is none of them are 255. So for green, we're going to have 0, 255, 0. Great. And that's, I guess we'll need white for the background. So that's a good thing. We actually have to color the background because Pygame, how it works is it keeps painting new iterations for updates. But when you actually first do it, you have to designate a background color. We could make it black, we can make it blue, we can make it whatever we want, but we have to set it. So since we're doing white, we need to do 255. Okay, perfect. Excellent. And we've got display surf dot fill, and we're gonna make it white. And see how it lit up here? Because we actually used it. Great. So now we're going to draw our circle. Now, before we complete it, you can actually see that the parameters that we have, it asks for the surface. Now that surface is going to be display surf, which we've set. That's our canvas of sorts. The color, which we're going to make it green, which we've set green is a variable. Note that this can be anything. This can be oogly boogly. You know what I'm saying? It can be anything. This is just a variable name. The computer just sees this as a string of characters. It's not like, oh, white. Yeah, white. We all know what white is. So just keep that in mind, that when you're doing these, when you're looking at these, the color, you can manually input the RGB, or you can assign it initially, so you can just conventionally make it easy to read for whoever's going back through it, which is nice. And then position, we're going to want our plane position. So if it's 500 or 500, we're going to want that position. The top left is going to be 0, 0, so 250 is halfway over to the right. And keep in mind that since we're doing 4 circles, they are going to be offset by the radius of the circle from the center. So that top left circle is going to be to the left and up the radius of the circle. So if 250 is the center and our radius is going to be 10, then we need the center of the circle to be at 240, 240. Does that make sense? And the next one's going to be at 260, 240. Yeah, with X being first. So surface color, position, radius, width. Okay. All right, great. So now we've got our first circle. What I'm actually going to do, hopefully save myself some time. So we've got these. The next one is going to be 260 and 240. So it's going to be the same vertical position. but it is going to be same vertical position, but it's going to be different horizontal position. And then these next ones, it is going to be the same X position as the first square, but it's going to be a 260 Y position. And similarly, here it's going to be 260, 260. Okay. And if we want, we can just cut it off here. We're gonna okay, and then this is gonna make it so that when they click the X, it closes the game. It essentially takes in commands, one of which will be press the X, and that closes what we've got going on. So if event.type equals quit, I gotta get rid of that. Game.quit. Sometimes typing is really hard. Okay. Oh, we got ours named Foursquare. Okay. All right, cool. So now when we run this, we should get our squares. Dun dun dun. Ta-da! All right, so we've got 4 good squares. What we actually can do, they're kind of small. Well, his are kind of small, but his window's kind of small. As long as they're tangent to each other and inscribed in a square, we're fine. So the next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to add some lines for the square. So now let's think about this. Square is going to be 4 lines. We already know they're going to be green, and the length of the line is going to be the sum of the diameters. So 2 times the radius of the circles. Since they're tangent to each other, we just add them up. So if the radius is 10, then the length of each line is going to be 40. So let's start that. Pygame.draw.line, and let's look at what we've got. So we've got start position, end position. And actually it looks like we're going to do this, and then we're going to experiment a little bit and see if we can minimize. Actually, let's see if we can do circles too. No, but we can do lines. So let's figure that out after we do the individual ones. We're going to manually enter all 4 lines, and then we're going to explore a little bit and dig a little deeper and see if we can turn 4 lines of code into potentially 2 lines of code. One with the instruction for lines, and then it looks like we're going to need that point list referencing all the start and end points of the lines. So let us do display surf, and then we have green, and then we're going to need the start point, the start position. Oh, and it's nice, it shows us we're currently on start position in the parameter list. Start position is going to be what? So keep in mind that we are mentally starting with the top left corner of the square. Now the top left corner of the square is going to be 10 up from the center of the top left circle and 10 over, because that's the radius. It's the vertical radius and then the horizontal radius. So that position, if the center of our top left circle was 240, 240, is going to be 230, 230. Great. And then end position is going to be the same y position. However, it's going to be the sum of all the radii, which is going to be 40. So if we started at 230, it's going to be 270 on the x, and yeah, that's fine, and 230 on the y still. All right, perfect. And then for the width, the default it said was 1. We can make it 2, just so it comes up more visibly. And then we are going to copy, since we need 4 of these. Perfect. And now the position, the way I'm going to think about this is I want the next one, the next 2 can start from that first one. So the next one, if I want to start it from that top left corner going down, it's going to have the same start position, right? Because it starts in the same position, and it's just going to change the y. The x is going to remain the same. So x is going to remain 230. Y, however, is going to be 270. And then for the other one, the x starting point is going to be the same as the end point of the first line. And then it's going to go down on the same x to the new y. And lastly, we have 230x, right? Bottom left corner, 270y. And then it's going to end at 270, 270. Okay, so we're going to give this a shot. Give it a run and see what happens. Dun, 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 dun. 4 circles inscribed in a square. Now, we're actually going to change it to 1 like it says, because it looks like we're getting some bleed. Because it's not 1 pixel, the lines actually are spilling over onto the circle. And now what we're going to do, the only issue I'm having with this is it's difficult to tell what if it's actually spilling over or not. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to increase our radii. Perfect. But now because we increase the radii, notice that they're now going to start to spill over. So we have to change the starting position, the center position of each of these by another 10 on the x and another 10 on the y. So that moved it over and up. And now the next one, actually, no, we're going to need 5. Right? I think it might be 10. I think it might be 10. So let's see here. Because now if this is going to go to 250, and then 250 needs to go to 270. Yeah, that's right. Okay. And then position 240 for the second circle. Why would that be 240 on the y? Okay, it needs to be 230. Okay. And then this is going to be 230 and 270. Essentially just bring it to those extreme values, whatever it is. 270, 270. Now we're going to have what I predict 4 circles, but the lines are actually going to overlap the circles now. Oh, no lines. And the reason why is because the lines are actually there, but you just can't see them. So the lines are actually inside the circle right here. So we're going to make sure to expand these guys so we can see them. All right, so we need, now that the radius is 20 and the starting position is here at 230, 230, we need it to be at 210, 210. Does that make sense? So we changed the position coordinates by the value of the radius. So essentially the starting point is here. When we need the radius to go over, or that we have, this is the diameter, but the line needs to move out the equivalent of the diameter of the circle, which in this case is 2 times 20, so 40. So this is the distance, 40 is the distance from 210 to 250, which is the center of our square. All right, and then the line, so the line starts at 210, 210, which is going to be this point right here, continues for now 20, 40, 60, 80, so that's the length. So the x value needs to stop at 290 now. And the y values are going to, since this is 250, and it needs to go up 40. It's 210 and 210. Okay, now the second line that we have originally started at 230 and had the same X value and went down to 270 needs to now start at 210. Moving it over. This is connecting to the top left point and going down. We want it to go down how much? 20, 40, 60, 80. So the end Y value is going to be 80 away, so it's going to be 290 here. And the ending X value is going to be the same because this is a vertical line. So we don't want to change the verticality of it. We don't want to make it diagonal any. And now this next one is going to be from the end point. So we're just going to copy, paste that. Essentially, we just made it so it starts from the end point of that top line and goes down to the X value will still be the same. So still 290. And then it goes down all the way to the Y value of the second one. So here, 290. All right, and that's actually going to be the same as this endpoint. And here we have the starting value is going to be the endpoint of the second line. Oh boy. Perfect. All right, so let's give it a run. Ta-da! Inscribed square. Okay, so that's going to be the first problem. We're going to save it. As for squares.py. Okay, perfect. All right, so that was actually problem one. I'm going to break these up into the different problems so that I can kind of tackle them differently, but thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed the video and the clarity or lack thereof, like, comment, subscribe, especially comment, because I can thoroughly improve the quality of these videos with feedback from you guys on what you'd like to see, what some of the issues are, if you have any audio issues you'd like me to enunciate better, things like that, or if they're content related. So if you guys want me to approach things in a different way for different types of learners, let me know. Anyway, have a great day, and thanks for watching. Enjoy. That was kind of weird that I said enjoy at the end of the video, but still have a great day.